Dear Ruslan, hi. My name is Simon. We have spoken for a few times on Facebook in regards of your art, and I would like to give my critique on some of your options. Um, and I would like you to listen, and I would like you to see what I have in mind here, because I think you might have reached a state in your photography where you're bored. I think you might have reached a state where you're no longer challenged, but it's more routine, where you know what you're going to do, but it's no longer a task or a discovery or an adventure to produce the art you're doing. And if that's so, then I would like to give you a small story and then tell you where I want you to go if you would like to listen to me. So here goes. The thing about sex is that it's a whole other chapter than most people believe. And I would like to introduce you to where sex belongs in our nature and vice versa, where our nature belongs in sex. And that's because there's some theories that has eluded mankind for a long while. In fact, they have never been precisely and adequately deciphered nor described because we haven't done the math on actual sex so far. You have lots of sexologists, you have a lot of psychologists, but they're all evading the equation's core. They are not so far bright enough to deal with what's essentially needed for their tasks. Very bold statement, I agree, but since I have my shit under control, I ask you again to stay patient. The thing about sex is that it's a myriad of relations between how we feel, how we act, and where we are in relation to our offspring and you know mankind, nature, and natural desires as a whole. Cutting it a bit short so this doesn't become too boring. In sex, she's a hostage. Sex is violence expressed into the morbid fashion of actual sexual intercourse, morbid or not, but actually true and beautiful. But the point is, we are eluding what sex is for the female and for the male. To go there, to understand where it belongs, we got to look at spiders. Where you wake up this morning and have your coffee and your breakfast, and you go somewhere and do shit, or don't, or stay where you are, or you have an experience, watch TV, or whatever you do, you have a set of experiences related to your actions. Depending on your creativity and your ability to navigate in 3D space and time on a 2D surface, you experience with higher or lower elements of joy in relation to your actions, and thus it's gratitude and the outcome. But the point is, while you're doing all the shit, the spider is sitting in its web the whole day. Wherever you go and experience anything, it's been sitting in there at that grid, at that web the whole night. It's been drinking the morning dew from the threads of the web, but it hasn't experienced anything. It is completely like yourself, calculating on its options, and like you're completely aware of its ability to be in 3D space and time and enjoying the same now per as you are. Where you have experienced in a myriad of options of input output, the spider sees the whole same room or the same piece of the forest or the street where it's sitting in the light bulb. And it's completely aware of the now. It calculates on its options like you do. And it's sitting there the whole fucking day, for its whole fucking life, until eaten by a fly or somebody dying of old age, or going somewhere to rest for the winter and then come back sitting there the whole fucking day again, until eaten by a bird. Sorry, not fly. And it sits there with its eyes on its elbows, on its shoulders, on its head, on its back. It sees 360 vision. And it's completely aware of any and all flies that may or may not pass over its web and the ones that don't. Then it feasts. The fly lands in the spider web. Now, what do you think happened up to then? The spider sits there. The highlight of the day until the spider arrives is the morning dew, so it gets something to drink. But from then, completely aware of the now, calculating on its options like you are, it's just, what does the spider have that makes its life so much worth that it's not suiciding. Like any and all species that came to the same conclusions along their path that life is so meaningless that they simply die off because there's no point to existence in their natural calculations of experience. What does it do? Want to know? It dreams about killing. It feeds on all the joy and torture it's going to produce for that fly till it arrives. It's perpetually in this dream state of mentally visualizing how that fly is going to get it in the fucking ass. It's what keeps it alive. The dream of the chance of the fly arriving. It feeds before it feeds on the meat of the fly, on the dream of killing the fly. Well, we have sexuality here. So we dream about the great titties and the blowjob and the preteens or whatever. Then we still here have adventure around us as we go hunting for the titties. The fly and the spider shares one common goal. Tell me what it is. I'm okay. I'm sorry, but the spider shares the common goal with us, but it has to kill. But I'm sorry. I'm focused on my life that I can't have. Prison. So I'm sorry. So the point is, the spider simply just sits there, and to nourish its being in that fucking web, where it can't leave, because if the fly fucking shows up, it doesn't want to be out for a cup of coffee. So naturally, it has to be in that web, and to have purpose that has been built into our nature, so we don't succumb to suicide or meaninglessness. And that's all life, friends. And a few branches off. Then it has to have dreams, and that dream is killing. The spider is what we would consider pure evil, but it's not. It's just pure natural. It has to kill to be, to feed, like we all have to kill to eat, to be, to have kilojoules to be. But the spider can't leave, so it's keeping itself alive by dreams, the killing, the need to kill. And the need to kill is very essential because, as I say, we need kilojoules to be. So the whole elaboration on this is that the spider must kill the fly. And it must have a yearn and an urge greater than the sympathy and the pity of the fly when it's arriving, because the fly is screaming. It knows that spider doesn't want anything good for it. And as that thread around the spider engulfs the fly, and those hooks are set into the meat of the fly knows it's over. I don't know how long it suffers for, but for the spider, it needs to have a nature to be able to do that, so it continuously feed. So the point is, the spider must be a killer, and it must have visions and dreams that feeds it about killing for it to be as a whole, because of love, compassion worked. There's a relation between interaction of sharing energies and the good stance, loving. Then the spider will simply die out of hunger. So it must have a nature where love is expressed for the spider as a killer. Love is violence wins for love. And as such, love is being killed and killing for the spider and the fly. What does that tell us in relation to sex for us? It tells us that in a nature so brutal, where this can happen anytime, where this lion or brutal bull, as the word when we were dinosaur, when we were rats on the feet of the dinosaur might show. Then we have 65 million years of evolution up to here. 200,000 years ago, humans shows up. Homo sapiens. And the point is that mankind has had a nature around it. Though as a group, we've been a group as rats forever. Unum sed lonum hardly exists, but in this time, that the strongest soul survivors of society, cancer, walks around as hunters amongst us, as the healthy. But unum sed lonum means alone but a lion but alone. And it hardly exists. We need the group around us. But we've been in an environment where nature has been so brutal that we can't even fathom it. There's been paranoia and angst at every corner. Today it's a sickness to have paranoia and angst. It's the most healthy aspects of survivability. Unless you have it under control and are prepared to die for your own gratitude. Then you won't be angst. Then you will know that you are the hunter. But being angst is considered a disease. You get peace being angst. Instead of being told how to be brutal enough to be the one providing the angst. Sheeps and wolves. But the point is, in all this, our killing need that we've had for a very long time, because we need to kill equally like rats. We need to feed on the blood of the bull and the cow. We need to be able to, in our blood rush, the highest stance of killing being, lust, jaw, our spear into the belly of that bull and kill it. And it must be worth more for us to kill that bull or that mammoth than the actual inbuilt spiritual connection we also would have with it. To love it, then to love it. If we loved the bull, we wouldn't kill it. We would have a hard time understanding why we would need to kill the bull that we loved. It would harm us. But to go hunting and shoot that deer, we can hear it screaming, I don't want to die. Its entire being is saying. But we need to be. We don't think about the pigs on our dinner table. Everything is completely insufficient and invaluable, disvaluable, except for cute animals. If it was your neighbor's cat that you caressed as a child lying on your dinner plate, you would have a fit. But that fucking pork chop, completely equally like the cat or yourself feeling that I am and I don't want to die. You don't share the thought. That sausage, where the fuck did that came from? Ah, fuck it, hell, it's got sauce on it, I love it. You didn't say thank you. The pig and the cow doesn't want to die. You don't want to die. The fly don't want to die. But you have to kill it to eat. But none of you says thank you. You're surrounded by 3D space and time, all the way. Because the box, up, down, left, right, front, center, rear, you. You're there, up and down, left and right, front, center, rear. And and surround you all the time. And that applies to all things living. 3D space and time around you. Where did it come from? Where did all this space come from that we're in? Where does all this magnificence and magnitude leave you at indifference when you kill a child? That was his highest. It's a personal question that I feel about, because I feel that if you're robbing something of its existence and right to be, which I at all cost and all criteria express in no less than you have a right to eat, and you have a right to kill, and you have a right to be a meat eater, and you have a right not to be a vegetarian, because vegetarians are stupid. But a simple thank you for the life you took so you could be would be sufficient once in a while. I don't know if that's, but that's a detour. The point is that in relation to sex, all this starts adding up to an equation saying we had to put our need to kill somewhere so we could live with our spouses. If we don't, I'm just going to